Great to have you here. Now, I'm so impressed. You actually do real, genuine homework. You've got charts and ladders and form lines and guides and one loss. Oh.
I actually did this last night while we were waiting to go to the movies because Ted was sold out.
Did you watch Ted? I watched Ted last night. How good was Ted?
Yeah, Ted.
Welcome to the Ted review. Welcome to the Ted review show.
Well, we are going to talk about Ted for a little while. She's expecting something big. What, like Emma?
I seen last night too.
Oh, we should have invited you, Russell. Oh, it is sensational. You know what's on my breath? Anyway, we could go on. Seriously, Dave, you've got to see this.
My grandchildren want to go and see that. And
Well,
I've said
how
no.
are
I wouldn't recommend it.
So they're going to see Brave today instead.
Ah, okay, that's nice. That's nice, Dave. Okay, now Emma, what we'll do, I'll just quickly go through. Actually, do you want to read out last week's? Probably your voice is prettier than mine. Last week's Division 3 results.
I can do.
Yep, here you go.
Alright, so last week's results, we've got Kilburn defeated Seaton 12-16-88 to 6-12-48. Karaka went down in the big one 6-6-42 to Pembroke, 18-22 to 130. Another big game, Atherton beat CBC 24-11, 155 to 9-6-60.
Smashed them.
Another big game following up with PNU, Paynham over here, defeating Salisbury. Unfortunately I wasn't there for that one. But that was 18-18, 126 to 10-6-66. And then there was a bit of a low scoring game with Mitcham going down 2-16-28 to Smosh, only 6-10-46.
Yeah, bad kickings, bad footballs, more scoring shots, but lost. So Mitcham boys are probably dirty on that. I noticed Dave Green made an exit after. I was meant to do this segment with the two Salisbury people, but it's not happening. Russell Hart's back. What's actually happened there? Something's happening in the other studio.
Greenie had to go to the toilet.
Greenie, he's incontinent at his age. The colostomy bag was full.
The nappy filled up.
Alright, Emma, now are we going to do a bit of talking about the SAWFL before we go into Division 3? Or did you have any
we've done the results, so we might as well stick on Division 3 if you
Oh,
want.
okay. Pardon me, sorry. Alright, well now, tell us a little bit about that chart. What do you got there of interest?
Okay, so what I do is
I emptied the bag.
That's great.
that's the current ladder. So Smosh is currently sitting top.
Yep.
In my first column, I've got the results from last time they played. So last time it was a very close game when Seaton and Smosh played. It was only a 2-point difference, and Smosh were the victors, winning by 2. And then I've just got the last 3 rounds, the results. So Smosh have actually won their last 3 games.
Yep.
Not by overly big margins though. So.
No, but they're getting the job done.
Exactly.
So yeah, nice. That's very, very tidy stuff. Right, well let's get on to this week's games because we've got a Division 2 guest and we've got a Division 1. We need to make sure we leave a bit of time for that. So let's start with CBC and Mitcham. CBC and Mitcham. Okay, Mitcham have slipped down to 5th on 6 and 5, but this one here for CBC, who are in 8th place on 4 and 7, is basically an elimination final. Like their football season will be over. Now we'll get to Salisbury and Pembroke later on, but CBC could find themselves going from 3rd to 9th within the space of about 3 or 4 weeks. They must win this CBC. Mitcham, though, are young, they're fast, today's conditions will suit them, and I'm tipping Mitcham.
Yeah, well, early in the season it was a 42-point difference last time they played. CBC obviously closer down the bottom now.
So CBC won last time?
No, CBC lost, sorry.
Oh, okay.
So Atherton won by 42. I mean, sorry, Mitcham won by 42.
How's your chart going for you now?
Oh, it's confusing me so much.
Speaking of princesses, Russell?
Are you talking?
Yeah.
I actually think CBC will win this time.
Giles will be happy to hear that.
Yeah, he's my favourite. He's my old favourite player, Giles. I modelled myself on him. Can you tell? I reckon Mitcham will win. Actually, CBC. Sorry, I think CBC will beat Mitcham. CBC will beat Mitcham by a good 4 or 5 goals today. I think they've got a lot to play for, and I think they'll step it up today.
One thing they'll have in their favour is, the dry conditions will help them. They've got a lot of first 18 players. They had 9 injuries 2 weeks ago, so they've still got those first 18. I'm sure they'll have some very good players playing for them who are 17, 18, young, fit, fast players, and all that hopefully will match up well against Mitcham for their sake.
I went past their ground yesterday, and it's looking alright.
Yeah, no, it's in good condition. Even that day when it poured heavily, it still held up well. Let's move on to the next one, which we can do fairly quickly because it's, I was going to say top place Kilburn. They're not actually top, they're 6th. They're 6 and 5, but effectively could be 9 and 2. They are on a roll. They've won their last 6 in a row. They're taking all before them. They will move into the 5 at the end of this round, replacing Athelston is my tip. And they face Karaka. I can't really find too much positive to say about Paraka at this stage because they're not having a great year. I hope they can get a win, but probably complacency is their greatest opportunity today. But I don't think Kilburn. We talk about the word galvanised, but they really were brought together by that points debacle and it only made them stronger.
They lost the first 2 games after that points debacle.
That was during the points debacle. They hadn't actually. They were 3-2.
I thought it was after.
Don't ever correct me, Lisa.
That's it. I'm shocked. It's funny.
I'm
hurt.
Tell us about the details, Emma.
Oh, well, pretty much. Paraka's coming off some big losses in the last 3 weeks. They've got 1 win on the ladder, and that was from their points.
Points
against
game.
Yeah, pretty much. So you would say Kilburn, but Paraka when they play well, I've seen them play some good footy. So hopefully they can just keep it up for 4 quarters.
Yeah, they got within a goal or 2 in the 3rd quarter against us. We weren't real thrilled with our day though. Okay.
Alright, Kilburn will win by a good 10 goals. Thanks, Tommy.
I thought you already said something.
No.
Oh yeah, so must have farted. Alright, Salisbury and Pembroke, this is a big one. The budget interestingly tips Pembroke, coming off their 88-point win last week. Pembroke win this, they can move out the relegation zone, which would be huge for them. Again, Salisbury 5 and 6. Interesting that 3 teams above them are all 6 and 5. They've still got a healthy enough percentage. If there isn't enough motivation for Darren Reeves and the boys to get up for this one at home, I don't think they'll ever will be. They play the big ground reasonably well, whereas Pembroke are a small ground team with thin wings. I just think Salisbury should get the job done. Damasi best for them last week. They need a few other boys to stand up, maybe the McPherson brothers.
Yeah, I think
that was fully loaded for her. Then I've shot her with a smoking gun.
She just looked straight at me with
the
the
green.
I reckon Pembroke will actually win today. I think.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm going against you. I think Pembroke will win. It'll be a close one, but they've got a lot to play for. Pembroke. This is almost a mini final for them to get out of relegation.
Who was Salisbury playing?
Pembroke.
Okay, I thought you were saying Pembroke. Sorry. I thought your tard pills had kicked in. Sorry.
After the shot, I'm going to smash you.
Yeah.
I think Pembroke will win by a close game today. That's what I'm saying.
Well, it was a close game last time, only 3 points of difference, but Salisbury getting up when they played away. So now that they're at home, I know the boys have been looking forward to playing them on the big ground. So hopefully that will play into their favour. They are missing Jay, who's done his knee a couple of weeks ago. I was there for that game. I can't remember which game it was exactly, but it was actually his good knee that he did.
They're missing Jay. Who's
yes.
Jay, sorry?
Jay Mansfield,
okay.
The little forward up, the one that's kicking all the
The
goals.
high flyer.
High flyer, yep. So he's now down on the ground.
Someone's going to have a massive job on Tom Evans for Pembroke as well. He's a classy forward.
Yeah, well, we got Mark Robb back in this week after his suspension, so he'll be a big in. Yep. So yeah, hopefully, Salisbury playing on their home ground, big ground, and they'll get the win.
No worries, and in the game of the round, it's 1 versus 2. Smosh and Seaton. We missed a game. We'll come back to that one. Smosh versus Seaton. If Smosh win this, they go 2 games clear at the top of the ladder. So, Seaton, this is the last of 4 home games in a row away. They managed to get 2 wins the first 2. Had a loss last week, obviously, but I think Smosh will be too good. Especially dry conditions will help Smosh. Yeah,
I'm surprised by how well Seaton are going, to be honest with you, this year. I tipped them to be around 5th or 6th. But they've really surprised me. But I think Smosh will win. I don't think it'll be. I think it'll be a close one, like last game. But on the bigger ground, I think Smosh they'll play the home ground a little bit better than what Seaton can, and I think they'll win by a couple of goals.
Yeah. Once again, last time was close, only 2 points. It was at the beginning of the season, when obviously everyone was at full strength. And now that it's later on in the season, they're only 1 game apart, so they're only 1 win difference. But I would still think that Smosh, being at top and just being so strong as what they are at the moment, but they get the win.
We all think Smosh. PNU and Athelston talked last week about how Coach Graham McIntosh said last week's game was the most important game for 3 years. He came out this Thursday and said, delete that, it's this week. It's traditional rivals, PNU and Athelston. It's at PNU. I love these games because they're both so well supported. People that don't come out and watch footy get out for these games because of the banter between the 2 supporter groups. Just for Painter, Matty Sharp kicked 5 points last week, but finally I read in another publication they're calling him the West Coast Hype. Gray Grant kicked 6, and the Mudlark, Paul Lowe, was very good again. Painter's got a good blend of youth and exuberance, and some taller fellas, some older heads. if they're switched on, they'll win and they'll win well. But Athelston, it must be watched. Athelston can explode. They can come with the thunder, baby. Wilmot kicked 6 last week. Jared Trish down back, matching up on Nick the Sitch will be a big match-up. Justin Sheedy, possibly the form on ball and possibly a medal favourite. Motley off half-back, all very good players. The old man now Grossman with his long sleeves will still be floating around. Mini-me, Dean Rossi is dangerous. You could throw in a few more names. This would be a great game. I tip Payneham from the heart, and I think, even with the head, I think they'll win at home.
I think Athelston will win today, and I think they'll win easy.
You say that with such hate.
I've actually become to hate Payneham because of you, just like I hate Hope Valley.
You haven't mentioned your good mate today.
Who's that?
He's crazy.
He texted me this morning and said, if you mention me, I'll kill you, so I better not.
Believable. That's a believable text from Dave as well.
Top bloke, Dave, Crazy Dave. Is he playing today? He was injured before, I think.
No one's seen him for a month now.
Really?
He could be anywhere.
Could be on the roof.
Could be.
What
do you think?
I actually think Athelston, sorry, I'm being serious. I think Athelston will win in a close one.
Think whatever you want, Monica.
Well, back to the football. We've got round 3 when they played in the first time. It was another close game with only 9 points, with Payneham winning. But this round, it's all about the close games again, because it's 1 versus 2 with the Smosh and Seaton, but it's also 3 versus 4 with Payneham and Athelston. So it will definitely be a close one. Hopefully, you going out to that game today?
I've got playing responsibilities. Yeah, I am. Yeah, no, you do listen to the show.
Yeah, I was listening this morning.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, it's a little bit tricky. I'm sitting in between both of you, so either one of you could just throw a punch.
Say whatever you want, mate. I'm just looking for expert opinions, not favouritism.
I'll pick Payneham.
Boo.
Absolute champion, Gibblet. Absolute champ. All right, beautiful. That is Division 3. Now, is there any SAWFL news that you've got for us?
Oh, of course there is. It's all about the SAWFL news. So last week we had a bye round with the Port and Westies still played though. But in the budget we had a bit of a write-up about the under-18s grand final. It happened about a month ago now, but with so much happening in the SAWFL, we didn't really have enough room to write about it until we had the bye round. So there's just a couple of pretty cool pictures with a ruck contest happening between Jenna McCormack and the best on ground Jessica Walker-Smith. So both of them haven't been involved in state teams, so they were both in the under-18 state team this year. And then Port were the winners on the day. The scores, it was 8-9, 57 to 3-4, 22. So it was a good game. It was a closer game than what the score sort of showed, but Port have just been dominant the whole time in the under-18s, and it just sort of showed on the night. And obviously we're getting their best on ground from Port. Just shows that they really have been the powerhouse in the under-18s, and hopefully next year we'll get some more teams and it'll be a bigger competition, because this year we just had Westies and Centrals who combined to make 1 team. So hopefully next year they won't have to combine, that'll be 2 extra teams. And then if there's any teams out there in SAWFL, I'm more than happy to help anyone set up an under-18s team. All you need to start off with, it's just been 9-a-side. So if you walk around to, say, your under-18 boys team, the amount of girlfriends that sit up in the grandstand, pick them out, get them to make a team, and I'll help you get it started. So we just want teams out there. Yeah, it really is easy. It's so easy that I don't understand why it hasn't happened already.
Because we haven't had someone like you driving the ship.
Oh well. Yeah, I'm here to help, and I'm happy to help, and I want to help. So if anyone out there wants to start up, under-18s is probably the best place to start. I've been talking a fair bit with Kenilworth, so hopefully we'll get something up and running out there, and that'll be really good. Get some footy down south. So especially for those teams that are out south, there's not really too much opportunity for girls to play footy down south. So the more opportunity we can give them, it'll basically be, you're not competing against any other clubs at the moment. So it'll be an easy walk-up start for you. So get on it while you can, I suppose. But as for games this week, I rang up Cheryl, bless you.
Sorry.
rang up Cheryl in the 3rd quarter of the Green Acres Port game today. And Port were actually leading 3-1 to 1-6.
Was that an early game today, was it?
Yep, they've been playing.
No, it starts late, mate. She's just got psychic powers.
Yeah, I can see into the future. But there's
right.
another game being
right.
played. Paraka and West Adelaide are playing at 10 o'clock today, so down at Paraka. But there's 2 games tomorrow, so Ingle Farm and Modbury are playing at Ingle Farm at 2 o'clock. So that should be a good one.
Is that a triple? Is that a triple header this morning? Before
I think so. I'm not entirely certain, but from what I know from the past when they've done that, it has been triple. And then the big game tomorrow afternoon, Morphe's versus Centrals at 12:40 down at Morphe's. So that's a lovely drawing there.
Thank you very much.
So they're the
You're a dickhead.
the fixtures for this week's SAWFL. But also we've got Port Lincoln I spoke about it a couple of weeks ago, how they're sort of picking up, getting up and
You're
running.
still heading down there and
Still heading down there in a couple of weeks' time, but just on Facebook it is exploding and I can't believe how big it's actually getting. So Port Lincoln women's footy, if anyone knows anyone that lives over there, it will be exploding and it will be happening very soon. So
Get amongst it.
the sooner the better.
Beautiful work there. Emma, you are a star.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you for being on the show. Is there anyone you want to thank? Any sponsors? No, we
Well, I don't actually have any sponsors, but I just wanted to mention the fact that I'm doing a bit of charity work at the moment for CARA. So they like a care and respite agency for people with disabilities. So for more information, there's a website, everydayhero.com.au/Emma_Gibson, I think. So it has a bit of information on there and how you can donate and all that, but I want to try and tie that into football somehow. So if there's any clubs that want to challenge me to a goal kicking competition or something like that, I don't know, just something where you can be challenged to kick like a girl, I'm more than happy to get out there
Tommy would
and
excel at that.
raise some money. So if any clubs are interested, yeah, I don't know, that's the first thought. I literally thought of it just then. So I haven't, as you can see, I haven't put too much thought into it, but I think it would be a good way to get the clubs sort of, I don't know, more of a team thing, trying to beat a girl.
Oh, beautiful work there, Gibblet. We have to take a very quick musical break now, and we're going to be back with the great man, the coach of the Portland Football Club, the Steamboat, Ricky Pearce, making his second visit to WOW FM.
Before we jump into that, can I just drop something for you? Back in the Div 6, back in the Div 6 comp,
Yeah.
I don't know if this came up before, but Liam Davis from Houghton.
Yeah, we did. We mentioned it. Thanks. He's also, you know where he's going after Nord, don't you? Paperwork's already signed, mate. I think you'll find that he might be a Falcon before you know it, him and his brother. That's just the word on the street.